Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello everyone, how are you today? First of all, we say thanks to God who has given us some mercy and blessing, and then we can do everything our activities. And then allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jayanti. I'm from class C, and now I'm the 5th semester. This lesson is ISP, or English for Specific Purpose, and our lecture is Sir Adi Isma SPD MPD. And for this video, we're going to talk about ISP. Well, before we going in the origin of his film, let me give a little bit a brief story about ESP. English for Specific Purpose was born in the 1916 as a technical text analysis area. The study of language used over language form strengthened at the end of the decided and material development became a popular trend. Then the meaning of is film based on my, so we learned about what the subject we want to learn. For example, if you wanna do business, so you learned about English, but the English is about business. Going to origins of ESP, there are three. First one is the demands of a brave new world. At the end of the Second World War, the technology and commerce dominate the expansions of activities and an international scale. English became an international language. Businessmen and women wanted to sell their product. Mechanics had to read instruction manuals. Doctors needed to keep up with development. Students had to read journal textbooks. And the second point is a revolution in linguistics. Linguistics also as an foreign language or the second language. A revolution in linguistics as the demand was growing for English courses tailored to specific needs. The study of language began to emerge. The third is a focus on learner. This is educational psychology contribute the rise of ISP. Motivation is the key to successful learning. To motivate learners to learn is to fulfill their learning needs and interests, such as taking the test from the learner's specialist area. The development of ESP. ESP is not a monolithic universal phenomenon. It has developed as a different span in different countries. The approach that we shall describe can be found operating so here in the world at the present. The first point is the concept of spatial language or register analysis. This concept departed from the principle that English of specific signs differs from each other in the terms of its grammatical and lexical feature of the research. The second is beyond the essence or rhetorically or discourse analysis. If in the first phase ESP has focused on language at the sentence level, in this phase the development shifted into the level above the sentence, understanding how sentences were combined in discourse to produce meaning. Third is target situation analysis. The aim of this phase is to take the exciting knowledge and send it on a more scientific base by establishing products for relating language analysis more closely to learn leisure for learning. Skill and strategies is the fourth. In this phase is considered not only the language itself, but also the thinking process that underline language use. The fifth is a learning-centered approach. Previously, in the origin of ESP, we know that there were three forecasts that had a role in ESP and become its characteristic. They were needs, new ideas about language and new ideas about learning. And then we're going to the next topic is language descriptions. For language descriptions, there are 6 points. The first point is classical and traditional grammar. Although English had become a word order-based language, but the concept of case are still the base of any language. The second point is structural linguistics. The structural description of language has had a great influence on most language teachers since the Second World War. And the third point is transformational narrative or grammar. The grammar of a language, according to Noam Chomsky, is not the surface structure from deep level meaning, but for ESP, the distance between performance and competence is still valid, though it was thoroughly. The fourth is language inspiration and register analysis. The concept of a language inspiration gave rise to the type of ESP which was based on register. The fifth is functionally or national grammar. Another major work that has influenced ESP has concentrated on functions and physics is discourse or rhetorical analysis. This stage deals with how the meaning between sentences is generated. The important thing is the context of that language.
Next material is theories of learning. The first point is behaviorism learning as habit formation. In this theory, say that learning is the connection process of habit formation and give value by quality of the frequent action or continuous stimulus response. In this learning language, having thinking as rule governed activity was also the step in learning, which learning not only consists of forming habits, coding, learning, thinking, things. The connective view takes the learning to be an active process of information. The fourth is the affective factor. The importance of emotional factor is easily seen if we consider the relationship between the cognitive theory tell us that learners will learn when they actively think about what they are learning. The fifth is learning and acquisition. Much debate has recently centered around the distinctions by the Stephen Krasbin between learning and acquisition model. And the last point is a model for learning. A learning model will provide a practical resource of reference for ESP teachers and course designers.
And then the next material is need analysis.
Need analysis refers to the technique for collecting and assessing information relevant to core design. It is the means of establishing the how and what of a and the last material approach to core designs. For approach course design, there are three. The first point is language-centric course design. It is an approach that focuses on the linguistic performance of the learner in the target situation. The second point is skill-centered approach. This approach aims at helping learners to develop skills and strategies which will continue after the ESP course. And the third point, or the last, learning-centered approach. Balance of control in learning-centered class will change. What does this mean? A common belief is that in teaching sense improvement, where teachers are seen to be the only source of information and are likely authoritative, the feeling of responsibility for learning is higher. Well, in my conclusion about ESP is a lesson method, one of method teaching that we learned a subject that focus on our necessity when to learn. For example, that I have said in the first video. For example, again, if we want to learn a flight or a course flight, so we focus in a flight to learn English for specific. And then that's all my material about ESP. and thank you for watching my video. Hopefully this is material can benefits in our life. And then I also say thanks to Mr. Adisma have given me guidance to do this assignment, and for you all have watched my video, thank you very much, and I say assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.